But that's one thing about gardening is your hands are going to get dirty sometimes. You have to.
Oh, that's the good part.
Not mind that. Yeah, some of us actually like it, but
yeah,
you have to at least not mind getting your hands dirty. All right.
The thing about gardening is you can't be afraid.
Wow. So here we are. Welcome to Ponderosa Garden Adventures. My name is Mark.
I'm Sharon. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you haven't, we garden here in Southern California, Zone 10A. And today we are working on a long project. It's part of our garden, our greenhouse project, actually. And we had, in the area where the greenhouse is going to go, we had an iris that was beautiful. It was huge. It was 6 years at least old. I think it was closer to it was probably about 10 to 12 years old. And it had not been divided. And so it was very happy in its life and it was huge. And so we have a video that shows us digging up the iris and separating the iris. That was quite a feat. My son had to help with part of that. And then what we did was we took all of those clumps that we separated from the iris. It was huge. I mean, we're talking a huge plant, into probably about 6 or 8 buckets worth of cuttings.
Put them into planters.
Right.
We took 2 buckets, 2
right.
5-gallon buckets, anything we could think of to
right.
stick these
to
in.
Keep the roots moist and to keep, because we definitely wanted to keep the iris and we knew it was time to separate. So it's been quite a big project. We haven't had time to get back to it. It's been about 2.5 months. And this particular clump that we were working on was in a 5-gallon bucket with just water. So anyway, we've got some footage of that. We're going to show you how we separated these irises, and we're going to next go through and pot them up. So we invite you to come along with us as we go through this process. If you've done this before, it might be entertaining for you. And if you haven't, hopefully it's informational and will help you not wait to separate your irises. Don't wait.
Don't do what we did.
Don't do what I did. I loved it. It was happy. It was fine. It was in a spot. It wasn't bothering anything getting so large. So anyway, so come along with us today as we separate these irises and divide them and get them planted up.
All right, let's go. Excellent.
This is the group that was stored in water in just 5-gallon buckets, sorry. So what we have here are these clumps, and I'm going to show Mark, who hasn't done this before, when they're separated, because some of these will come apart fairly easy. It's like any other plant when you're separating. You want to kind of tease the roots apart. So here's a good example. I'm going to cut this one little one off so it's not in our way. So here's a good example of how these are the old roots. You can see the dark roots, and you can see here that we've got new roots that have been growing in the water. So this iris is going to be just fine. This is going to be a whole plant on its own, and you can see if you do the math about how many plants we're going to end up with. So definitely iris for Christmas for a lot of our friends. So okay, so I'm just going to take off this dried leaf and these here as well. I'm just gonna take and cut those off, clean it up a little bit. All right, and then what we've got is we've got this little fan. Now when these are planted, irises, you don't plant them straight down in this way. You actually plant them this way, because as you can see how the roots are growing, they're growing down because of the way it was situated in the water, and they were all clumped together so it couldn't stretch out. But the roots will actually grow down. So when they're planted, they're actually planted across like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a fan. I'm going to leave probably about this much, maybe about like that. We'll leave them a little taller. And I'm just going to cut kind of a fan shape here. And that's typically how you'll find if you are getting irises that have been separated. This is what you'll find.
Let's measure against the edge here and see. What are we looking at? 6 inches?
We are looking at
about 9 inches.
9 inches. So, and they could be a little longer. This is just, we have so many that for storage purposes and everything else, I would rather have them a little bit smaller than a little bit larger. So And this will do just fine. And then we're going to take these, we're going to separate all of these individually, and then Mark and I are going to get to trimming them, and when we're done, we're going to have a grouping of individuals that are going to get planted in a 1-gallon pot that he's already filled up with some soil. So let's get started on this part, and we'll catch up with you when we're done with the separating. Okay, so separating now. You want to be gentle because, again, this one here has got really great roots on it, and I want to make sure this is a good, healthy guy. So again, we're kind of teasing, so I'm just kind of gently pulling these apart. I could hack it and cut it, but I think I can get this one. I can see.
Oh, nice.
So see, that's really healthy. That's exactly what we want. This is a really good one, okay?
I can see how it's coming out of one side.
Right.
So this is the side that goes down.
It would grow down. Had it not been in a bucket all crammed circularly like that. So.
All right, so I'll need a hori or something.
Yeah, and I think here's the question. I would rather separate all of these and have these in here laid like this, and then we can pick them up and then trim them, rather than do this one and trim it and put it.
Oh, okay, that sounds like a great idea. So let's see if we can.
Try not to rip up all the roots if we can help it. And the lower you are on the base like this to separate, the better it will be for the roots.
Just like pulling weeds, where you want to get the whole root.
Well, or separating tomato plants. Think of when you get a tomato plant. It's got 3 plants in there, and you're teasing those roots apart. We've all done that. Water on myself. But see, if you find a spot where you can get, like, this whole grouping is grouped together. If you can get to a place where they somehow kind of naturally come apart, you'll feel it. You'll feel where they want to separate. See, like right here. And once you get the big groups teased apart, well, see, like, for example, we don't need all of this. Find that you'll feel that natural, and some of them may not want to come apart. We may end up planting, like this one. There's 3 here together. There's a 4th one that looks like it's going to come out, but these 3 will probably end up leaving together because they're so intertwined. Again, you got to get hold of that base. Oh yeah, look at these. These have got really, really strong roots coming off. So that's part 1. Part 1 is separating, which we've done. Right? Well, first we're going to trim them, just like the other one, and we're just going to lay them on the table. So let's trim them all up, and then with the trim plants that take less space, then we'll bring over the pots.
Okay.
And we'll film that.
Got you. Okay.
All right? So when I'm doing one like this, where it's obviously, well, this is actually 1, but it looks like 2. If you're doing 2, you can still do 1. You know, depending on how it looks. Like that's 2. I wouldn't do a V and a V. I mean, it's up to you. You can do, what I was trying to say is you could do 1 V with that. But I would get, like, the dead ones off. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You know, if they're intertwined with some green ones, I wouldn't worry about it. We just want to give the plant less to support and a better chance of, you know, growing.
We don't have the
healthy.
The measuring stick anymore, but that's okay. I can kind of eyeball it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
probably, Mark, from if you measure it from your bracelet to the end of your hand. So your hand.
No, I got the ruler right here.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
All right.
You can eyeball this guy.
Yeah, I don't mind eyeballing it. I actually prefer it.
Oh, there's some roots coming out of there, right in the middle. Look at that.
This is an easy
This
win.
thing is so happy. I love irises. I love the color. This one is beautiful.
We do because
we'll have to show another photo. Like it's a beautiful. It's a white with yellow and purple.
It's beautiful. It's very delicate. I love the delicacy of it.
And it blooms every spring, right around Easter time.
It blooms multiple times during the year. Actually,
it is just
well. My plan is that we are going to plant some of these around the outside edge of the greenhouse, and it'll be a nice frame around there, and the height of them when they get larger will be just about where the windows are, because it's not a traditional greenhouse with glass. It's really more of a it's got open screening. Here in zone 10A we get mighty hot in the summer, and so a glass greenhouse is kind of difficult. It would actually cook everything that's in there, and we don't plan on putting heat or anything in there. So we try to grow as naturally as possible, but we do like to have some advantage in the winter. So let me start.
Let's try this scissors.
Okay, see like these here? See how these are? This one I'm actually going to tease it out of here because it has really strong roots. This is like exactly what you want. This right here, if you gave this to your friend and they planted that, it would come up really nicely for them. So
we'll plant it for them.
Yeah. Well, again, I think don't be surprised, friends and family, if for Christmas you get iris bulbs. They're actually a rhizome, but just gonna cut these like this.
There we go.
And like that. So need like this one here. See how long this is? We don't need this big long root like that. So if I can cut this off here, we've got plenty of.
That's like the old main root. You're gonna need one of these. You're gonna need your scissors are not gonna cut. Let me give you this. No. Oh, yeah, I'll just use your hands then.
I'm sorry. Did you tell me I couldn't do something? That's like a challenge to me. I thought we might put some in the front planter. I thought that might look really nice.
Oh yeah, I mean,
and
you're gonna have
they don't require much. Yeah. Oh, first of all, these right here, you can see how these will come apart. If I can get this nicely. There we go.
You got that. All right.
The thing about gardening is you can't be afraid.
Well,
you have
afraid,
to just.
You just gotta,
no, you just got to go for it.
Ignore your fears.
You know, it's a plant, and they are more resilient than we give them credit for so many times. And you just gotta do your best. Let's count them. So let's lay them on the table. Let's lay them out. Because 2. Count yours and let us know what you got. 2, 3, 24. Oh, did you put the little one? Okay, 24. So and those 4 looks like we've got 28.
Okay, getting ready to plan? How do we plant these?
All right, so what we've got here is we've got, Mark has some footage. He did a mix of native soil and, was it amend that you used?
Yeah, just the amendment.
Okay, so.
Organic compost amendment.
Right.
As you can see, we're all ready for our winter and fall planting. And today we're going to begin with the irises. I'm going with a 50-50 mix. This is just plain old native soil dug right out of the ground here. I didn't bother to clean it. There's rocks, stuff, anything. Irises don't mind harsh soil, so we're just going to mix this with a little bit of amendment.
So what we have here is we've taken I saved the pots. I've got a whole collection, and this is exactly why projects like this. And Mark's already filled them up with the mix of the 50-50 and the amend. They're about half full.
Lots of
here.
roots.
This one's got lots of roots. So I'm going to take this one here, and you can see how it grows. It's not growing straight down like you would think with roots coming off this here. There's those roots on the side. So what we really want to do is plant it like this on an angle so the roots will grow and then the plant kind of comes up behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and place this in some of the soil here. I'm going to try not to get it down amongst the leaves. And I'm going to go ahead and get soil behind here so that that is full. Try not to get it over this section here. We really want to try to keep, when you're planting it in the ground, you try to keep that little root uncovered, but we've got cold weather coming up and winter. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this center part. We're going to kind of have dirt going up the sides, and that's what we should look like when we're done. All right, so Mark and I are going to get to it. We're going to do 3 here on camera for you. You don't need to watch us do all of them, but we're going to keep going here and get this done.
All right, let's see. I like this one because it's got brand new roots. You can see the brand new roots. I don't know if we've seen any of these really up close, but the really bright ones are ones that have come out since it was in the bucket, and I'm just going to put that on top. I'm going to do my first one. Again, this has lots of rocks and twigs and bark. We don't care.
The irises actually like that.
Yeah,
they actually prefer kind of crummy soil.
Since
kind of like lavender, you know, it's
potting soil, like everything, has gotten quite expensive.
Oh my goodness!
It's doubled in price.
All of the gardening
last
supplies.
Couple of years. So we try and use the native soil as much as possible. I think I've got my 3.
I have mine as well.
I'm just going to stick them over here.
So there's my 3, there's Mark's 3. My thought was, along the fence on the side of the greenhouse, we can just put them along the fence in 2 rows for now. It's in the same area where it was, so we know that All right. People are out and busy today. The weather is gorgeous today. It's about 72 degrees here, and everybody's kids are off for the week for Thanksgiving, and everybody's out trying to do something active, as we are out here gardening. So
it's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to all our viewers in the United States.
Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us. We got some of these iris planted up. We're going to do the rest of these, but you don't need to see that. We're going to do that on time lapse.
Follow us on Instagram, Ponderosa Garden Adventures, and we will update as we finish planting the rest of these irises, splitting the rest of them that are there. We also have shorts on YouTube. Check out there. We'll put them in all those different places, and maybe we'll do an update video down the road. But that's it. So again, hope you found it useful. If you've done this before, you might have found it entertaining with what tasks we have ahead of us. And be sure to check out our videos on our garden greenhouse. We've got a playlist out there, and the iris dig up and separation and all that is in that group. We'll try to link it.
It was a 3-day project, so be sure to check that out.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Leave a comment below. Let us know how your irises are going.
Right. If you feel like it, subscribe to our channel. It's free. And if you hit the notification bell, you won't miss any of our future videos. And thanks for joining us here at Ponderosa Garden Adventures. See you next time.